Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome to another time of Bible teaching. Well, actually, it's not really Bible teaching. We might go to the Bible in this one. It's the new moon update, part two. Um, yes, the new moon was spotted. It contradicts what I've said to people in emails and texts, and I'm glad I waited. I went out today, went to the dog park, then went for a nice long walk in the woods, and I went to the dog park again, and yes, I had a dog with me. It'd be funny to get. You know what? If I'd known about dog parks before I got my dog, who's about to turn 2 years old, I probably would have gone to them anyhow. I just love dogs that much. But also today, my children, I have two adult children, male and female, in their mid-20s or so. And they've been away for 5 days and they came home. So we had some dinner and we spent some time together. So guess what? I haven't gotten to the comments. And I might not tonight. I just need some time for myself and my family. I'm glad I waited to do this part two because all day long I've been looking and I've been hearing not cited, not cited. And what I was seeing on these Facebook groups, and I'm in like four different Facebook groups who are all about restoring the biblical calendar, and they look for the new moons, they look for the barley being of Eve. Don't worry, that's in the spring. That was 6 months ago we looked at the barley. That's just what sets the months to make sure the months are in the right order. Oh, we should do that real quick. All right, let's do that because I've had some people ask me the question, hey, could the calendar be off? Could we be off by a month? No, we can't. And there was a time going back maybe 7 years ago when I'd be watching and I'd be like, oh, the calendar could be off. Let's let it go for a month. Not another month. It could be off. It can't be. And here's why. Um, Give me a second. Let's open up a Bible and we'll jump into this. I wasn't planning to. Bottom line, tomorrow night or Thursday night is when the rapture could possibly happen. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. And I did make a mistake on one thing I told you. Let me jump into that first. Evening twilight is correct. It's when two stars of medium strength are visible. But you remember in that other video I showed you this? And I said, up, sunset, 6:33. Is sunset evening twilight? No. When the sun sets, the sky is still bright. And you're not seeing the stars. I mean, there's some nights when you could. And you know what? It maybe if I was like, I remember there was a year I worked at a summer camp up in Maine. Actually, 2 years in Maine, 1 year in upstate New York, but 1 year in upstate New York. We were out, it's during my knucklehead years, so I have an excuse. We got drunk. We didn't want to call them. Had to get a boat back to camp, so we stole a canoe. Middle of the night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, we're like rowing across there. Stars everywhere. By the way, we stole a canoe and we had like 2x6s as paddles. It didn't go over well in the morning, but it was the coolest night in the world because there were just so many stars and shooting stars everywhere. I thought that was a good sign. I was on a bus out of there the next day. Woke up soaking wet from the water. But anyhow, long story. I'm getting off, but off on the wrong story. But I mean, I guess you could see the stars when the sun had just gone down, but it's when the star really gets darker that you can see those first two stars. So instead of 6:30, I don't believe I told that story. It's probably about 7 or so. But do you have a knucklehead story? I bet you do. I got quite a few. Oh my goodness. So maybe 7 o'clock, 7:15. This hit me when I was like waiting for some reports and I wasn't getting them. And again, I got like 4 to 5 different groups that I'm going through and I'm looking at all the different things they were saying. And what everybody's saying, up, not spotted, not spotted. And they're saying, well, it starts anyhow because you can't go more than 30 days. If it's been 30 days since the last new moon, then it automatically starts. And I've never heard that before. I mean, this is what these people do. I don't know of any precedence for that biblically. I mean, I haven't dug through like um, the what is it called, Talmud or the Mishnah or whatever, the writings of the rabbis to see how they've done it. And before I started to record this video, I started looking, and it has been cited. But before we get there, and I'll show you that, before we get there, I wanted to get into the Bible for a second and talk about why I know it's the right month. Um, there are no months. Only one month is given a name in Torah. And when I say Torah, I mean um, the first five books of the Bible. And that name is Abib, Abib. Most of the months that we get in the Bible, names for months in the Bible, come from the time in Babylon. There's a few names of months that come up before the dispersion to Babylon, but you trace them out and they're kind of like other country type names. Because Jewish biblically, like in Torah, it's on the first month, the sixth month, the ninth month. I mean, Rosh Hashanah is the first day of the seventh month, but it is the new year. Well, I'll show you that too while we're at it. Okay, so let's look up this name, and it's actually more of a description than a name. It's Abib, A-B-I-B. And you can see it comes up several times in Torah, once in Ezra here. But the word Abib is more of a description. Fresh young barley ears. That's a weird name for a month, isn't it? Yeah, my birthday is the 5th of fresh young barley ears. No, it's a description of when to start the month. Fresh young barley ears, barley, the month of ear forming, the greening of the crop, the growing green Abib, month of Exodus and Passover. So that's the month that, generally March, April, when Passover, Feast of First Fruits, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, First Fruits are all in that month. But in order to start this month, the barley has to be almost ripe. Okay? And this would be what they would do. They would go out and check the fields, and this is one of the reasons the calendar that the Jews use today was standardized 356 BC with the help of AD, with the help of Constantine. But this is the way the Lord set this up. So then, let's go to Exodus 12:2. Exodus 12:2. See, this is Abib. See, on the 10th of this month, every man shall take for himself a lamb. That's Passover. But this month shall be the beginning of months. It's actually Rosh Hod. It's the beginning of months. It's a new year for months. It says it will be the first month of the year to you. There's two calendars. There's the one for months, and then Tishri is the head of years. It's the new year for years. So you set this month by the barley, and then you count 7 months to get to Tishri. So, and this year the barley was good. And this is something that we were checking 6 months ago. I probably got videos about it. You can go back and look. Is there a chance it was off? Yeah, but I'll tell you what, 1% chance. I doubt it's off. Because there's nobody that actually officially declares the barley to be Abib or Aviv. There's nobody officially declares that. So you have groups that are out there that are inspecting the barley, and they'll give their barley reports. They don't really generally give opinions. They just give the barley reports, what it looks like. This is actually really cool when you look at the way that the Lord set this up. It ensures two things. One, that the appointed times stay in the proper season. Two, this is a good one, that for the Feast of First Fruits, which is a picture of Messiah, because, I have something to grab. See, it's not a stalk of celery that's there. It's like a sheet of celery. Whole bunch of pieces. If it was a stalk, if it was just Messiah that arose, it would be a stalk, one individual one. Because with Messiah, if you read in Matthew 27, when he arose, there was a bunch of people. The graves were turned over. The people came out. So that's something for the rapture. I'd really hate to be a groundskeeper at a cemetery after the rapture, and I didn't go. Oh my goodness, so this cemetery is going to be a mess. But it's a sheath because lots of people arose at that time. What would it be like? And so when we observe the Feast of First Fruits, it's a picture of what Messiah did. And they're supposed to bring that sheath of barley and wave it and before the altar. What if there's no first fruits of the barley? That wouldn't be right. It's not a picture of Messiah. So this ensures the fact that the barley is almost ripe on the first of the month, and then Passover is the 14th of the month, and the next day, the 15th of the month, is when the Feast of Unleavened Bread begins. And then the day after the Sabbath, the day after the Saturday, so the Sunday after that is the Feast of First Fruits. That's when Messiah is crucified. Oh, excuse me, that's when he arose from the grave. That's when they bring the barley in. And in those 2 to 3 weeks, from the barley being almost ripe, you'll have the first fruits on that day. We know that's good. We don't just say, okay, wait till the next month. And people will say that. The calendar's off by a month. Give it another month. I would have given it 2. Seriously, I did. Back in the day. I wasn't doing videos. Oh my goodness, I am so glad I wasn't doing videos years ago. I thought I knew everything, and now I know what I don't know. I know I don't know a lot, but it's not like I was. I'm getting off and getting a little silly here. Forgive me. So, um, give me a second. Yeah, so this we're going to show you. And this is from Deborah's Date Tree on Facebook. No, I don't have Facebook on here. I was able to get this to show up. Dear friends, the crescent moon was spotted with the naked eye from Israel this evening, September 23rd, 2025, marking the beginning of the 7th biblical month. The crescent moon was spotted with the naked eye from Jerusalem by that person shortly after sunset. The sighting was confirmed by binoculars by Ralph Michael, that guy. Oh my goodness, look at that name. Can you imagine him to sign checks with a name like that? Anyhow, who was with her. It was reported to have been a particular different sighting, a difficult sighting, and visible for only a few minutes. And everything I'd heard was that there was like dust in the air, clouds. It just was a really, really bad time to spot it. Um, and then it just goes on about the basic stuff. And it has to be seen with a naked eye like it would have been years ago. You can use glasses because that's like normal vision, but you can't use a telescope or binoculars to sight it. But there was somebody who sighted it and somebody who confirmed it. What else I want to say? Give me a second. So as I mentioned earlier, it is either tomorrow night, Wednesday night, or Thursday night. And whether it is whether it's one day or 2 days, we don't know. Again, long ago, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the Sanhedrin, the ruling elite changed it. And I've had people say, we don't need it changed. It can be one day. We've got phones. It doesn't matter. The question is whether or not they could legally change it. And we walked through that on the first video I did. Was it last night, this morning? We walked through that. But the bottom line is that they sat on Moses' seat and they were able to interpret Torah. And we see that in Matthew 23. And Jesus spoke to the multitudes and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat. Therefore, whatever they tell you to observe, that observe. And do not do according to their works, for they say and do not do. Hypocrites. He's just hypocrites. I mean, could you imagine being those scribes and Pharisees while he's talking? Oh my goodness. He already knew they wanted to kill him, and they knew they wanted to kill him, but they're like, oh yeah, now we got to kill this guy. They had to kill him because that's what the prophecy was. And we even walked through in one of the recent videos how in Matthew 24, do you remember when Messiah talks about fleeing to Petra. He says, abomination of desolation is spotted. Flee to Petra. Then the second half of tribulation starts. The abomination of desolation is 30 days before the beginning of tribulation. I keep trying to throw that out because so many people are misleading people. They're trying to say that 3.5 years can be 1,260 days and 1,290 days at the same time. No, it can't. The calendar has issues. They add months to it. It was not an issue this year. The months are correct this year. But in Matthew 24, um, yeah, when you see the abomination spoken by the prophet Daniel, basically, run to Petra, get going, move, go, go. But pray that your flight may not be in the winter or on the Sabbath. And this brings in something that's called a Sabbath day journey, which you can go no further than from your house to the Sabbath and back on the Sabbath. And I understand all the commandments of men, the fences and everything. I personally try to follow Torah. But this is a commandment of men. But Messiah is recognizing it. See, Messiah only went after the commandments of men where it was transgressing the laws of God. Where this comes from, let me see if I've got it. My old note there. I wasn't planning to go here today. You're going to have to pause and I'll look for it real quick. It has to do with the time that they're in the wilderness and they were getting manna, going out to gather manna, and the instructions were 6 days you get it. On the sixth day, I'll give you double. It's going to keep. We're not going to give you any manna on the on Sabbath. You're supposed to rest, so you don't have to go out and pick it up. Um, that's just giving a little. And what does manna mean? What is it? That's what it means. They don't know what it is. Let me see if I can show you that. I think it's kind of funny. Where's the actual word manna? Oh, come on, Dave. Anyhow, tomorrow he said to them, what the Lord said, it's a Sabbath rest, a holy. I know it says manna here. I can be blind sometimes. Let me just read it and I'll come across it. And so it was on the sixth day that they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. Then he said to them, this is what the Lord has said. Tomorrow is the Sabbath, a holy day to the Lord. Bake what you will bake today and boil what you will boil and lay up for yourself what remains. It will keep until morning. So they laid it up until morning, and Moses commanded, and it did not stink. So they laid it up till morning, as Moses commanded, and it did not stink, and there were no worms in it. Then the Lord said, eat that today, for today is the Sabbath to the Lord. Today you will not find bread, or you will not find it in the field. 6 days you shall gather it, and on the seventh day the Sabbath will be none. There will be none. And it happened that some of the people went out on the Sabbath to gather, but they found none. And a lot of people keep asking me, well, how did keeping the Sabbath work for them Jews? I don't know. For the most part, they didn't do it. Most of the time, they weren't doing it. Oh, my goodness. Anyhow, and the Lord said to Moses, how long will you refuse to keep my commandments? For see, the Lord has given you the Sabbath. Therefore, he gives you 6 days, he gives you 6 day bread for 2 days. So let everyone remain in his place. Let no one go out of his place on the Sabbath. Does it say forever? No, there is nothing in here that tells you this whole thing about let no man go out of its place on the Sabbath is forever. It's not. It's for that time. Okay? It's for that time and that place. But this is what's been translated to the Sabbath day's journey, which Messiah acknowledged. I guess he knows they would still be keeping it. Yeah, man, let's look at that real quick. I knew it was in there. Let me go at the other one. I know this is 8 manna. I just think this is kind of cute, kind of funny. Means, what is it? This bread that fell from heaven. What is it? But it was supposedly good. But 40 years you're eating the same thing. Yeah, man, give me some quail. Throw some quail my way, please. Anyhow, just trying to think if I've missed anything that questions that I've heard from people. Give me a second. There was something. We talked about it being evening twilight. It's pretty simple when we go into um, Matthew 24. And I talked about how Paul, he says, at a moment, a twinkling of an eye. It's a Jewish idiom. I can't find something to tell you other than like commentaries of me, like people like me saying it. For me, years ago, I confirmed it with my Jewish customers, and it's 2 stars of medium strength. But um, even in Matthew 25, Messiah tells us that the bridegroom comes. At midnight, a cry was heard, behold, the bridegroom is coming, go out and meet him. And the word midnight is wrong. It just means the midst, the middle, but in the middle of or amongst, between 2 days, the time between 2 days. And we know from Genesis 1, that's evening twilight, when one day turns to the next. That's when the bridegroom comes to get his bride. But see, in 1600s, when the King James Version was written, it would have been midnight. We know midnight. So most of the times, if you see the word midnight in the New Testament, it's wrong. So I had somebody ask me a question. I just happened to glance and see it, and they asked, "Is there some place where we know the schedule of which they have blown the trumpets?" I didn't look. It might be in what's called the Mishnah. It might be in the Talmud, but I don't know. I don't know. And speaking of blowing in trumpets, yeah, this was supposed to be a minute and a half video. But speaking of blowing trumpets on YouTube, let me see if I can find it. Give me a second. This is really only on YouTube. I tried just to Google it and I can't find it. On September 24th, oh, come on. Don't renew and you stop. On September 24th, 2025, Jerusalem is set to sound 100 shofars at once. 100 priests, 100 sacred trumpets and their shofars, and a coordinated blast with a global live broadcast. This is something that's never been done. Now, the trumpets in that day, it was 9 sets of 11, and then the last trumpet, the shofar hagadol. It would never have been 100 trumpets blown all at one time. But apparently through YouTube and I guess other places, this is going to be broadcast worldwide tomorrow. I did a little digging. I can't find a time for this. But to me, it would be just like, I know it's evening twilight. He comes back. I don't know what time they're doing this. Wouldn't it be ironic that the day they do this is the day the rapture is? Wouldn't that be wild? I think it would. So the next 2 days we'll be looking. I'm going to check comments as I can get to them. If I don't have any plans for any particular video I plan on making, but if I get the same comment over and over, I may be encouraged to make a video. And you know what, guys, I am so far behind on all my other stuff, but it's cool. This is the most important thing I'm doing right here, right now, today. Because I know that even though I'm just teaching prophecy, and of course I teach the dangers of lawlessness, there are people that are coming to a deeper understanding of who Messiah is, and there are people coming to a relationship, a true relationship with him for the first time. And I've had these conversations, and it's really cool. Anyhow, God bless you. Have an awesome day, and forget about this $2 a day summer sale thing. You don't need that. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.